Welcome to Fighting Stats, the ultimate channel for MMA fans who love statistics and betting breakdowns. I'm your host, Art C, and I'm here to get you ready for the upcoming UFC fights. In this series, I'll be watching tape and providing my real-time analysis on how I think the fights are going to go. I'll be watching for fighters' strengths, weaknesses, tendencies, and overall strategies, pairing that with Fighting Stats' exclusive UFC stats not available anywhere else to give you a prediction on how I think the fights are going to go and ultimately who's going to win. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Welcome to Fighting Stats. Welcome back to Fighting Stats. I'm your host, Artsy, and today we have a beauty of a breakdown here for you. UFC 296 happens December 16th. The main event, the Welterweight Championship on the line between Colby Chaos Covington and Leon's Rocky Edwards. We went through the fight tape. We watched the last couple of fights for Leon Edwards. We watched Colby Covington. We got an idea of how this fight is going to play out, so I'm excited to share what we found. So just to recap, if you did not see the fight tape, go back and watch it. These guys are exciting fighters. These guys are going to be around for a while. But just to recap some of the fights that we saw, starting with the Leon Edwards fight, we saw him take on Gunnar Nelson, a fight to a split decision. Very close fight there. Not a lot of activity. Just Leon Edwards able to keep the fight standing, win a split decision. Against Rafael Dos Anjos, same sort of thing. Decent takedown defense, 5-round fight. Dos Anjos winning a unanimous decision there. And then he takes on Nate Diaz. That one was sort of a mismatch from bell to bell. Nate Diaz at the end of his career. And then you know what the difference is? He fought Kamaru Usman twice, winning both of those ones. Now, the difference being that the first fight with Kamaru Usman, he was actually losing that fight up until the last minutes of it. You might have heard that head kick heard worldwide. Big head kick from Leon Edwards in round number 5 of that fight, winning by knockout. And then in the rematch, Kamaru Usman not able to find much success as he did in the first fight. Leon Edwards able to win a majority decision after actually losing a point in that fight. So now it's Colby Covington fighting for the belt. On the Colby Covington side, we taped that side as well. Just to go recap again, we started around the Rafael Dos Anjos fight. We saw him put on a pace, just a pace that he cannot, not a lot of fighters can deal with. The Robbie Lawler, the Rafael Dos Anjos, the Tyron Woodley, and the Jorge Masvidal fight, those 4 fights were almost exactly the same, with Colby Covington just coming forward, spamming takedowns, pressure, 5-round fights, just hard to deal with the cardio. He then fought Kamaru Usman twice and lost both times to Kamaru Usman. The difference being that Kamaru Usman is just better with the takedown defense, better wrestler, able to keep the pace of Colby Covington for 5 rounds. So I think it's just a matchup thing. But worth noting, Leon Edwards faced Kamaru Usman twice, beat Kamaru Usman twice, and Colby Covington faced Kamaru Usman twice and lost to them. So worth noting that there. So UFC 296 happens on December 16th. This is how I think the fight is going to play out. Give me a second. All right. So we've seen Colby Covington. We've seen Leon Edwards. Edwards is going to stand in southpaw. Covington also going to stand in southpaw here. So now the biggest difference, I think, is going to come down to the takedowns. Now, people are going to talk about the takedowns, how Colby Covington has different entries than Kamaru Usman. Usman in that second fight with Leon Edwards, not really able to dominate the grappling like he did in the first fight. Part of that is Usman getting older on the tail end of his career. I wouldn't be surprised if Usman has 1 or 2 more fights left in him. Everybody talks about how bad his knees are there, so didn't implement his game plan. More of his takedowns come from body locks, trips like that. You'll hear that. But in that second fight, you did see him shoot for a couple of double legs, single legs, not able to get Rocky down. When he did get Leon Edwards down, Edwards able to pop back up and keep the fight standing. On the feet, pretty competitive as well. So that's one thing to note. But Colby Covington is a different beast than Kamaru Usman. So I think what's going to happen is that we've seen it, and we've seen it all along with Colby Covington. We've seen it on all those fights where Covington just comes forward, and again, it doesn't. I want to say it comes down to the takedown and whether or not he can find success. But Colby Covington will shoot 5, 10, 15, 20 takedowns against Leon Edwards. He might land 3 or 4 of them. He might only get like 30% takedown accuracy, but the difference is that he will continue to try for these takedowns. And in round 1, they're going to start out, they're going to throw some punches, feeling out process. And then I think within the first minute or two, Colby Covington's probably going to press forward. He likes to press forward and throw some punches, getting Leon Edwards to get the high guard up. Once you have the high guard up, then it's Colby Covington going to shoot for the double leg takedown. He likes to do it up against the fence. He might not get it successfully round 1. He might go for the takedown. Leon Edwards defends, but then Colby Covington has you in the clinch up against the fence. Edwards is probably pretty decent in the fence, pretty strong, likes to throw some knees. Colby Covington as well will throw some knees in the clinch, but I think it's just the relentlessness of Colby Covington. If he doesn't get the first one, he's going to try for the second one. If he doesn't get the second one, he's going to try for the third one. So then in the end, it's going to be Leon Edwards going to be defending the takedown for most of round number 1. Hard to get a lot of offense off when you're defending the takedown. It might be a little bit tentative. We saw in the Gunnar Nelson fight, we saw in the RDA fight, when Leon Edwards does fight a grappler, he's a little bit tentative and he doesn't really want to sit down on long combos. We saw a lot of popping jabs, maybe 1-2, but he's not extending combos a lot. He's not really throwing a lot of high kicks, spinning stuff, not really going crazy. I think he's probably going to stay pretty technical in this fight, not give up the big moments, and then it's going to be Colby Covington coming forward, throwing some big shots. Not a ton of power, but again, it's the attacking the takedown. If Colby Covington does get the takedown, I think Leon Edwards can pop up. Then it's a matter of Colby Covington bringing him back down, back up, back down, back up. So we might see multiple takedowns here from Colby Covington. We might see a good get-ups. Leon Edwards does have some good get-ups as well. So I think the first couple of rounds are going to be pretty close on the feet. I'm not saying a clear winner, but I do think that Colby Covington can run away with those rounds just based on more volume, just being busier. Again, if Colby Covington shoots 6 takedowns, that means that Leon Edwards has to defend 6 takedowns. How is he going to score points when he's defending takedowns? He might give one up there, and then in the end, it's 6 takedowns attempts, 1 successful for Colby Covington, maybe a little bit more volume on the feet versus Leon Edwards defending 5 of the 6 takedowns, but he does give up some control time. And then who do you give that round to? You got to give it to Colby Covington because he's a little bit busier. He had some top time. He got the fight to where he wanted to get it to. That's probably going to happen again in rounds 2, rounds 3, rounds 4, and rounds 5. In rounds 3, 4, 5, the pace that Colby Covington is able to put on, and we've seen Rocky slow down a little bit in the Usman fight, see him a little bit dejected, not a sense of urgency in that last fight until he threw the head kick. But I think Colby Covington can put on pace. I think in the later rounds, it probably favors Covington as well. The difference, again, Leon Edwards is throwing those kicks. He doesn't throw a ton of right kicks. We saw him stand in southpaw, which means that he has the left foot in the back. He's going to throw that left kick a lot. He likes to kick the body. He likes to go low. He rarely throws it up high, but when he does, he set it up with the right hand and then came over the top with the left kick. That's how he knocked out Usman. So he may go back to that, but I think against a pressure fighter like Colby's not going to give him enough room to kick. He's not going to stay outside in kicking range where Edwards can pop these leg kicks. I think he's just going to close the distance, going to be afraid of the takedown. So we're not going to see a lot of leg kicks from Leon Edwards. And again, we commented in the breakdown there, Leon Edwards doesn't throw a ton of right kicks either. A lot of his kicks are coming from the left side, not a ton of right kicks. So we can see that being a difference. Again, I think for Leon Edwards to win, he's going to have a bunch of big moments in the rounds, keep the fight standing, rock Colby Covington on the feet. We saw it in the Masvidal fight. Masvidal got a knockdown. We saw Usman knock him down as well. That's how Usman was able to secure some of these rounds, keep the fight standing, land a couple of jabs. We saw Colby Covington go toe-to-toe with Usman on the feet. Be pretty competitive standing, but we also saw Leon Edwards go toe-to-toe with Usman on the feet as well. So striking wise, it's probably pretty close. Probably Edwards, the more technical fighter, the more power, but it's just, again, the volume that is the difference. Every strike that Edwards is going to land, Covington might land 3 of them. I think Covington runs away with the striking differential, and I think again the takedown defense. Edwards is there. When the fight was announced, I was all over Colby, and then when I watched the Edwards tape, I switched to the Edwards side, saying, his takedown defense is legit. But then we watched the Colby Covington fight. It doesn't matter about your takedown defense. It's just the sheer volume of strikes and attempts from Colby is the biggest difference. So this fight probably goes to decision. Honestly, I see, probably a lot of the time, honestly, going to decision. I think Colby Covington can win a unanimous decision. I think it could be close. Maybe Edwards gets 1 or 2 rounds. I can see maybe like a unanimous 48-47, unanimous 49-46 from Covington. I just think it's if you're not Usman and you can't defend it, Edwards being a striker, Covington's done this to many strikers before. The RDA, the Masvidal, the Tyron Woodley. These guys are all the same sort of boat as Leon Edwards in terms of good takedown defense, good striking, all that stuff. But just Colby's able to really implement his game plan. I don't really see that much difference happening here. I think Colby's going to have his way with Leon Edwards. It's going to be probably pretty close. The odds are probably about right. I think it's pick'em right now, but I think I favor Colby just based on sheer volume. Maybe Leon Edwards can do what really nobody else has been able to do, even Kamaru Usman, is get Colby out of there and finish him. Just not likely. The one time that Colby did get finished, that was end of round 5. Really quick stoppage that I thought. The one time that Colby got the finish on Tyron Woodley, it was like a rib injury. So it probably pretty likely goes to decision. Both guys are probably pretty durable. Again, I think it's unanimous 49-46 type of win for Colby Covington. So that's my breakdown there. We'll go right into the numbers, though. We do have some fighting stats numbers here to share with you. So we'll go into the numbers, see if the numbers tell the same sort of story. Thanks. Okay, guys, well, that is it for today. Thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed the show, make sure you smash the like button, hit the subscribe, and you'll get notified anytime we put out new content. Again, my name is Art C. You can follow me on Twitter at Mr. Electrocute. This is Fighting Stats, the ultimate source for exclusive and in-depth MMA statistics and best bets. We'll see you guys at the window.